life is called $1,000,000Mexican.com.
Dang.
You know, the last time we ran into you in Oregon, you were telling us about this project, man, and how it kind of had a couple new faces and features and some new people that you ain't normally had in the past. One being like Beza, and, you know, another cool thing was about it that you had Gemini back on another hot single. Man, what was your idea behind this whole $1,000,000 Mexican project, like, as far as the tracks were concerned?
You know what I did this time on an album, Blaze, is I try to put together an album that I love, and I think that's really important because a lot of times when you're in the spotlight, it's like you do what the fans are gonna love, what the people are gonna love, and sometimes, you know, my iPod has music from all different genres. We have some cumbias in there, we have some pop songs in there, we have some reggae songs in there. We got some Mexican songs, some English songs, some hip hop, real dirty songs, real clean ones. And so what we did is, you know, I went ahead and made an album that I thought, you know, this is the type of album that I would really like to bump because it's got all the flavors that I like on it.
Nice.
And so that's what we did, you know, with the $1,000,000 Mexican. The whole theme behind the $1,000,000 Mexican is to empower my Latinos. You know, Mexicans, Latinos in general, when you see us in the media, you know, they say, well, this guy got caught trafficking drugs. Here's another Latino that is a drug dealer. Well, he's a killer. He's an ex-con. There's an illegal alien. And so I think there's so many of us Latinos that it's important to be proud of who you are. And so I'm taking my Mexican roots and say, you know what? We got a new tag. We're no longer that. We're $1,000,000 Mexicans.
Nice,
And
bro. I love it. I love that campaign, man. I love it. I mean, you know, it's been far too long that we haven't had somebody to step up and say, this is what we're worth. You see what I'm saying?
We are worth that because, you know, the numbers that we have in the United States, we have voting power, we have buying power, we have a commercial retail power, and so the powers that be already know that. Budweiser knows that. Walmart
Coronas knows that.
Bud Light.
Around here, Coronas knows that.
They're like, you know, so they got to call us for what we are. We're $1,000,000 Mexicans.
Nice. And so, you know, let's talk about the first video to this project. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I don't know which is going to be the first video, and I'll tell you why. It's because there's a couple of passion projects that I put on here. When I say passion, is I heard there was a horrible thing happening in Venezuela. I saw a documentary on it, and boom, in a week I already had the full song, a feature from Secan in Mexico.
I seen that.
And the video shot like immediately, and that's a passion project. I did that because I felt the pain of what my Venezuelans are going through. So the song Venezuela really was the first video from the album.
Wow,
but
that's
like
real cool. Real cool, man.
I said it's a passion project. Now, the $1,000,000 Mexican video, which has not been released, it hasn't been released for one reason. We shot the music video in Chase Field. And just so you know, Chase Field is where the Arizona Diamondbacks play baseball.
Got you.
And through my connections, I was able to reserve 3 hours to go and shoot the time there. Once we got there, a few of the executives saw that we were on there, and they're like, and so the upper-ups said, wait a minute, is there a rap video being shot on Chase Field? This can't happen. And so once we got there, now their legal department got involved, but this is after we already captured all our footage. So their legal department sends me an email saying, look, you told us you were doing an inspirational baseball video for kids, and it looked like you were doing a rap video.
You are Mexican then.
And so what I told him was, you know, it's easy to judge a book by the cover.
There you go.
Even though in your eyes I was doing something wrong, it is exactly what I said it would be. So now that the video is all done and edited, we just have to wait for their legal department and the Arizona Diamondbacks to say, okay, yeah, this is what you said it was. And so we're waiting on that, and I can't wait to get that approval because the video, The $1,000,000 Mexican, captures the essence of my entire album.
Nice. Now let me ask you this: who'd you have work on the video for you? Who produced it for you?
There's a guy out here named Iron Daniels that I've known for a long time. He goes by Rockadala or just Mr. iRock Bloke. He's had several tags. But Rock has gotten into directing and filming and now owns, a standard red camera that they use in Hollywood.
Oh, dang.
And
Nice.
so we're shooting with him.
Nice,
Yeah,
nice.
I got a chance one time to hold one of those cameras. Those are pretty nice.
Yeah, Tech Rosenberg's here with me too, MC Magic. I got to roll my paisanos. The hottest hood DJ Roto right here, the other Road Warrior is here with us. Plus, my boy Badger Milk's here with us, man. I told you we were real excited about your phone call today.
Man, that's dope. I'm glad, and I was happy to see all of you guys when you guys came out there when we were in Portland the other time.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah, man, that was awesome.
Same thing.
We
here.
gotta do that more, man.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna send you guys the private link of $1 Million Mexican, so you can take a look at it and you can really see what I'm talking about.
Let's do it.
Because so far it hasn't been approved, and we're just waiting on that approval. But once it's approved, we're gonna blast it to the world. And I also shot a third music video that hasn't been released. That song is called No Me Importa Nada. That's actually a cumbia.
Nice.
Another dope record, man. So it's just,
Funny.
I'm all over the.
That's
I'm
funny.
all over the map, brother.
That's funny you bring that up because I was about to mention that your first single on the last project was that what was it like? It wasn't cumbia, but it was definitely more of a fused Spanish and English record. The
You're talking about
Todos
Todos Mis
mis
Días.
That's the one. That's the one. And that's when I knew you had something like, wow, he's actually taking it to the next level. You're not just taking a sample, but you're actually fusing, the Mexican sound along with the MC Magic sound and making it work for you, man. That was beautiful, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that, Blaze. But it's important for me to put my culture in my music, and I love banda music. I love ranchera. I love cumbia. And so, who would not like to have a record like Bidi Bidi Bam Bam that gets played at every wedding,
my God,
quinceañera, party? That song will be played
Sample
forever.
that shit, player. You need a
Yeah.
sample. Magic, if it's one motherfucker who's going to be able to sample that and do it right, it's going to be you, brother. We got our money on you. How about that?
Man, I appreciate that, man, but I'm totally against sampling, bro. I'm totally against sampling because it's kind of like stealing. And then the owners of the sample, they wait
Yeah.
for the song to get popular, and then boom, they sue you.
Then they hit you.
Yeah.
Well, what? You got pulled, bro. You're the Mexican goddamn Dr. Dre. I'm sure you could call AB Quintanilla. He's my Facebook friend. I'll inbox him and be like, yo, I just talked to Magic yesterday, and I told him, I suggested that there could be, why don't you do some sort of remix instead of the straight up sample? Some sort of like same tempo.
That would be dope. Actually, A.B. Quintanilla and myself worked on a record that was never released. We did a remix of the Cisco Kid was a friend of mine. It was a cumbia. It was so sick, man. It was cracking. And then when I saw him the other day, I'm like, hey, whatever happened to that song? Because it was his project.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, I never finished it, Magic. Y pa' allá y pa' acá. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, it is what it is,
Yeah, fuck that. Grab that shit, finish that shit, make it happen, Magic. I think that's right up your alley, man.
We might just have to do that, brother. We might just have to do that.
It sounds like a great idea, man. And, you're the $1 million man right now, so I know $1 million ideas are going to work for you. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit more. Go ahead, Magic. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say you're gonna love the album, bro. It's got all kind of flavors. It's just a good thing, man.
Now, I know, Tech, you've been sharing a few of the latest videos that he had been releasing, man.
I visited the site. I seen some of the merch. I seen the keychains, a bunch of stuff, and I was like, it's a little different than what he was doing, but I mean, the record, like you said, is different than what he's normally been doing. So I think it's all gonna be good,
Absolutely, man. I appreciate that, brother. I appreciate that.
And the cool thing about it is, you're still growing, man. You're still like trying to reinvent yourself every time you come out. And let's be honest here, MC Magic has been probably one of the most consistent Latino artists in the game. I mean, he's dropping albums yearly, player. Yearly, he's dropping projects. Now, let's get more into the little independent game because, we just got off the phone with Ceci B last week, and she's independent. We talked to Caroline Rodriguez, and it's crazy that I'm bringing up all these female names even. But yes, Carolina Rodriguez, independent. We talked to actress Gina Rodriguez, and she kind of told us a little bit about how the movie game was similar to the music game and stuff. Like, it's just crazy to think that these females are holding it down too. They're starting to put it down. Snow the Product, another female that you've worked with, man, Latina. And
sounds like you're mentioning a bunch of $1 million mix.
And you know what, player? That's what I'm man. That's what I'm talking about. Like, and you know what, bro? To be honest, you seem to have always stayed the kind of ahead of the pack. To be honest, man, to drop a yearly project for the past umpteen years, I don't think there's really been a year where you really slept on everybody. You know what I'm saying, Magic?
Well, you know what, to be honest with you, it seems like I drop a project every year because every year I'm promoting a single. But I really haven't. I take 2 years in between albums. This was 3 years in between albums.
Wow.
But those 3 years in between, I never stopped working. I never stopped promoting 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 of the singles on the album. It's part of the game, brother. And the thing is, why put a bunch of good songs on the album if you're only going to promote 3?
There you go. There you go. Wow, some real straight up game right here on Block Certified Radio.
That only happens on the majors. I'll just put 3 of them out, man.
But MC Magic's talking about, like, you milk all this great music, you market it right, you can stick around for a while and still have people come out and buy your records and still come out and love you, man.
That's why we follow that MC Magic blueprint over here. And trust me, man, when you put that album out, if they get word of it over here, it's definitely going to catch fire with all the gente over here and watch it.
Yeah, and not only that, guys, you know, my followers, the real core fans, they know that when Magic puts on an album, there's gonna be 3, 4, 5, 8 tracks deep.
Gems, man. Some gems, players. What I'm talking about.
You know, this is why you'll see me perform in Yakima, Washington, and I'll perform 3 songs that you probably never heard, but the crowd knows every word.
There you go.
Hey, Magic. In the past, you said that you go to the movies and there's some movies that inspire certain songs that you make. In this album, is there any movie that you've seen that inspired one of the songs to the $1 Million Mexican album?
You know what? I can't really say that any movies have inspired me for this album lately because I've been kind of on the Mexican power tip. I've been on the $1 Million Mexican power tip, and I was looking forward to get inspired by the Cesar Chavez movie, and even though it was a good movie, I really felt that there was a lot of details about Cesar missing that would have been more inspirational to the people that don't know who he is.
And that's what happens when you get a simplified version of what really happened. You know what I mean? We've always discussed here on the show that the Tupac or the Biggie biopic is just exactly that. There was a lot of things missing that didn't give you B.I.G. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Well, and those guys' entire life is more publicized. You can hear it on this website and that website, but not a lot of people are talking about Cesar Chavez, except that they go to Cesar Chavez School, and there's a Cesar Chavez Park. I don't know if there is out there in Yak, but out here there is.
Tell them about Tomas.
We have Cesar Chavez High School, Cesar Chavez Grade School, we have Cesar Chavez Park, but the thing is that all our little raza doesn't know exactly why Mr. Cesar Chavez is so amazing, and so they go to see that movie, and even though it was a great movie, you kind of leave like, they named my school after him?
Oh, right. You don't walk away with like, that's why they named the school after him. You walk away with...
Exactly. Like when you went to see the movie Ray, you're like, man, I wish I lived during the era of Ray Charles.
I see what Magic is saying is like, you see the names, you see the stuff, but you don't even know what it means or why is it even there,
Right.
And
again, it's just a simplified version of what really happened. But, that's why details I've always heard have been important. Like, it's all about the details at the end of the day. And they might have fell a little short. But either way, we do commend Cesar Chavez. We have my best friend's dad out here, Tomas Villanueva, has been the reason why we even have a Yakima Valley Farm Workers Clinic here, period. Like,
all that is important, and that's why I was kind of half moved, because I know how important it is for all the undercard people, all the ones that are really putting in all their life and everything, for these movements, because they deserve better.